Eggs Benedict is an American breakfast dish that consists of two halves of an English muffin, topped with ham or bacon, poached eggs, and hollandaise sauce. Origin: there are conflicting accounts as to the origin of Eggs Benedict, including, in an interview recorded in the Talk of the Town column of The New Yorker in 1942, the year before his death, Lemuel Benedict, a retired Wall Street stockbroker, claimed that he had wandered into the Waldorf Hotel in 1894 and, hoping to find a cure for his morning hangover, ordered buttered toast, poached eggs, crisp bacon, and a hooker of hollandaise. Oscar Tschirky, the famed Moore registered trademark tagliatelle, was so impressed with the dish that he put it on the breakfast and luncheon menus but substituted ham for the bacon and a toasted English muffin for the toast. Refuting the claims of Oscar Tschirky/Lemuel Benedict, prior to serving as Moore registered trademark Tadar unregistered trademark Hartel at the Waldorf, Tschirky was on the staff of the old and famous Delmonico unregistered trademark S, along with the renowned chef Charles Ranhofer. This reflects an earlier claim to Eggs Benedict as evidenced in Chef Ranhofer's 1894 cookbook The Epicurean, which includes a selection of interesting bills of fare of Delmonico's from 1862 to 1894, in particular a recipe for Eggs Benedict. Cut some muffins in halves crosswise, toast them without allowing to brown, then place a round of cooked ham an eighth of an inch thick and of the same diameter as the muffins on each half. Heat in a moderate oven, then put a poached egg on each toast. Cover the whole with hollandaise sauce. During Chef Ranhofer's Delmonico years, Captain and Mrs. LeGrand Benedict were frequent diners. 5 generations of Benedict family history, including Mabel C. Butler, author of a 1967 letter to the New York Times, and great-great-granddaughter Emily Benedict independently cite similar stories from the late 1860s. That frequent guest Mrs. Benedict became uninterested in the usual Delmonico menu offerings and inquired for the chef to create something new. He replied asking whether she had any ideas, to which she suggested what is now known as Eggs Benedict. Thereafter the creation made its way into Chef Ranhofer unregistered trademark S. The Epicurean. Oscar Tschirky quite possibly learned of Eggs Benedict from Chef Ranhofer during their crossover Delmonico years together. While Lemuel Benedict may indeed have requested the egg concoction from Tschirky at the Waldorf in 1894 as a hangover cure, in that same year, the recipe was already printed in Chef Ranhofer's The Epicurean. Further reading in line with Mrs. LeGrand Benedict's story as retold by her descendants can be found in More New York Stories, the Best of the City section of the New York Times. A third claim to the Eggs Benedict fame was circuitously made by Edward P. Montgomery on behalf of Commodore E. C. Benedict. In 1967 Montgomery wrote a letter to then New York Times columnist Craig Claiborne and included a recipe he claimed to have received through his uncle, a friend of the Commodore. Commodore Benedict's recipe by way of Montgomery varies greatly from Chef Ranhofer's version, particularly in the hollandaise sauce preparation calling for the addition of hot, hard-cooked egg and ham mixture. Variations: Eggs Blackstone substitutes streaky bacon for the ham and adds a tomato slice. Eggs Florentine substitute spinach for the ham or adds it underneath. Older versions of Eggs Florentine add spinach to poached or shirred eggs. Eggs Mornau substitutes Mornau sauce for the hollandaise. Eggs Atlantic, Eggs Hemingway, or Eggs Copenhagen substitutes salmon for the ham. This is a common variation found in Australia, New Zealand, Canada and the United Kingdom. This is also known as Eggs Benjamin in a few restaurants in Canada. Huevos Benedictos substitutes either sliced avocado or Mexican chorizo for the ham, and is topped with both a salsa and hollandaise sauce. Eggs Hussard substitutes Holland rusks for the English muffin and adds Bordeaux sauce. Country Benedict, sometimes known as Eggs Beauregard, replaces the English muffin, ham and hollandaise sauce with an American biscuit, sausage patties, and country gravy. The poached eggs are replaced with eggs fried to choice. Irish Benedict replaces the ham with corned beef or Irish bacon. Portobello Benedict substitutes portobello mushrooms for the ham, and is a popular alternative for Catholics observing the Friday fast. Oscar Benedict, also known as Eggs Oscar, replaces the ham with asparagus and lump crab meat. Eggs Provenus sectional replaces the hollandaise sauce with bar copyright Arnaise sauce. Russian Easter Benedict replaces the hollandaise sauce with a lemon juice and mustard-flavored bar copyright Camel sauce, and is topped with black caviar. Eggs Chesapeake substitutes crab cake for the ham, and tops the hollandaise sauce with a sprinkle of Old Bay seasoning. Eggs Hebridean replaces the ham with black pudding. This variation is common in Scotland, using black pudding from Stornoway. See also: List of egg dishes, list of foods named after people, notes and references. External links: Who cooked that up? Page on origin of the dish with a recipe. OE was either EGGMAN. An account in the New York Times about Lemuel Benedict and the efforts of Jack Benedict, the son of Lemuel's first cousin, to promote Lemuel's story. Article includes link to an audio slideshow.